Hello and welcome back to Down the Track. Today we'll be analyzing the North India derby between Punjab and Delhi. What a cracker of a game, went to the super over. The IPL is truly back on. I have with me my co-host Abrar Aziz. How are you doing, bro?
Good. Okay, still coming out of that game, there was some drama in there.
IPL is back, man. I missed this 1.5 years. Oh my God, what a long wait! But this is why
Yeah,
this is why we wait so long and we're so excited. Like games like these, just unbelievable.
yeah,
And both teams started off slowly with the bat, and they bowled brilliantly. But there's two men, one on each side. There's Marcus Stoinis with 53 of 21 for Delhi,
yeah.
and Agarwal 89 of 60 for Punjab.
Yep.
Both magnificent innings, game-winning innings, but unfortunately it was a tie, and then Delhi took it. Initial thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I mean, it was a cracker of a game, like you said. I mean, there was drama all around. I mean, Punjab started off to a flyer with Shami really bowling very well. And then I don't want to say lost it, but they kind of like let it slip a little bit in terms of Stoinis came out and had a very good innings by him, but they could have really curbed it down in the end. I mean, he played some very good cricketing shots. Nothing take away from Stoinis, but they should have not given as many. They shouldn't have leaked more than 150, especially after the start they kind of had, right? Uh, and then moving on to the Punjab innings, Punjab again started very slowly, and then they just lost their way in the middle. And then Mayank Agarwal really like a single-handedly kind of got them out there, but very unfortunate that he couldn't finish. Very important that short run was not a short run, so it wouldn't have gone to
Yeah,
that.
game of
So
fine margins, man.
yeah,
Game of fine margins.
that was not a short run, so it's very unfortunate that I mean, if that run would have been counted, that the game was over. It didn't have to go to the super over or anything, right?
Yeah.
So having said that, he had 2-3 balls. He should have really finished that game. He I don't know why he
Once
went
he
for
got
like,
to that position, it should have been done.
yeah. I could understand if he needed like 10 of 3 balls to kind of go for that shot, right? He just needed one of 2-3 balls. I mean, just come on,
And
like
to pick that one fielder outside the circle, everyone else was inside.
so sad. I
I
mean,
think it was just in his zone and he just
yeah,
followed the shot. He
yeah.
just followed his instinct instead of
I
planning
think
where to hit it.
I think he learned from this. I think but he has to take a lot of heart from this amazing. As good as Stoinis' inning was, I think Mike's was better because he was under a lot more pressure, and he single-handedly started from the beginning to the end. He kind of played the anchor role initially,
Definitely.
really almost at 100 strike rate until he was at like 40, 50, and then he really took off from there.
Yeah.
So very well constructed innings. He was every time he was building a little bit of a small partnership, he was losing his partner. Sarfaraz a little bit, Gautam a little bit. He really never had a partner on the other end that he could rely on. So he was losing wickets on the other end. Very good innings by him. He should have finished it off though. He really should have finished it off.
Yeah, and Delhi also had the chance to finish it off. They dropped Agarwal's catch. I
That
think
was
Iyer
an
dropped it at
important
the
one.
boundary.
Yep.
There's a
Yep.
couple of misfields, overthrows. They were
Yeah.
sloppy in the field.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it was the lights or just like the fielding was poor, but they could have finished the game off if they just fielded better.
I agree completely. I mean, a little bit of that I think has to do with the fact that these guys haven't played cricket for some time. They're a little bit of rustiness. I think even in yesterday's game, you saw in Chennai and Bombay also were like a little bit rusty. Even here, Delhi to a larger extent, I thought Punjab was pretty good, but I think Delhi definitely a couple of overthrows, like you said, that very important. If Iyer would have taken that catch, it was over. I think game over because they still needed 20 runs or something after
Yeah,
that. So
and it went for a
so
boundary as well. So
yeah, so those fine margins as well. Like, you're right about that. Um, Delhi did miss Ashwin. I think if Ashwin was had to finish his 3 overs, they wouldn't have come to this point. So I think they missed him because he had an incredible first over. Just unfortunate that he kind of fell, I think, heavily on his shoulder. So we'll have to
what?
wait and see.
Yeah, I know that was unfortunate, but what a start against his ex team.
Next team, yep,
He's the
yep.
ex captain of the Punjab Kings 11. He comes in first over 2 wickets. Like I mean, proving a point and how like he must
Absolutely.
be like so pleased with that performance. Like
Yep. It was just
uh,
unfortunate that he couldn't go on to finish the 4 overs. I think if he had the 3 more overs left, I don't think that Punjab had a chance.
you know what that reminded me of without the celebration though. Andy Bayor scoring against Arsenal. that
Of course,
that's
you'd
what,
bring that back.
that's what reminded me of. Like it was a magnificent. I think, and you're right. I think his 3 overs, his calm and composure. I think it would have been better for Delhi. But yeah, they'll need to work on their fielding and learn to close out games.
Absolutely.
But also, I just wanted to ask you, how crucial was Punt and Iyer's innings? because
Oh,
they played uncharacteristic of themselves, if I may say so. Like
yeah,
they started off slowly. They did hit some sixes here and there and some boundaries towards the end of their innings,
yeah.
but like those 30 runs by each of them in between, they just they didn't lose wickets. There's still a lot to do, and Stoinis did everything, but that gave them kind of a platform, I would say. Not like the best platform, but like if they got out at that time playing those shots, it would have been game over. Like they could have been done for under 120.
Absolutely, I think it was Sternis. I mean, all of the thing limelight is going towards Sternis because he had a very incredible innings. But you're right, Iyer and Punt had a very important stabilizing the innings after that three quick wickets. I think um, I do believe that if one of them would have stayed, it wouldn't have been so much pressure on Stoinis though. And this time they got lucky because Stoinis clicked. It's not going to happen every time. So one of them will have to take up a little bit more responsibility to go through with the innings. Both of them got out at a very wrong time. I honestly think one of them should have stuck around and taken the mantle of kind of taking it till the end and scoring those runs, and that would have given them the added advantage of maybe having 15 runs in the end, an extra 15-20 runs in the end, and that would have helped. Having said that, they did a good job and they learned from this again. I think one of them should have gone on to the only reason it was a good job. It could have been better with them, kind of one of them at least going on
Yeah,
to
definitely.
finish off and make that 155 160 more like a 175 score. That would have been added advantage for them. So
Definitely, but they'll take heart from the fact that they can rotate the strike. They can be a
yeah,
bit less aggressive when needed, and
if needed. Yep.
yeah, they can adapt to the situation. So that's one good factor for Delhi. And a word on Kagiso Rabada, like magnificent in the super over. He bowled brilliantly his 4 overs as well. He just gave 28 runs, I think, and took 2 wickets. And then in the super over, he just finished the game. Like he won them the game in the end, right? Like with those 2 wickets,
Absolutely.
holding his nerve, and like no crowd, but he said in the post match that I do feel nerves when the game gets that close. So to hold his nerve and then bowl that brilliantly, finish the game off with just like 3 runs needed in the super over. Like your thoughts on Rabada?
I mean, he's a fine player. I mean, he's been there, done that several times before. Of course, anyone, irrespective of however experienced you are, will have a little bit of nerves going in. But he stuck to his plans. I mean, he knew what he wanted to do. He executed them perfectly. A little bit disappointed, honestly, with the way Puran went for that shot. Cross batted shot. I know you need the runs, but not like that. I mean, I don't think that was the way to do it. But having said that, this was a very good performance by Rabada. You expect him, because he's your star player. You expect him to do that, and he just came out with the goods. So hats off to him.
Definitely. And the game-changing moment for you in the game, match turning, if
Has
you
to
could
be
pick one.
Stoinis' innings.
Stoinis' innings and the
Because
player,
Delhi
yeah,
won, obviously.
yeah, because
Because
Delhi.
if it would have been the other way around, though,
Yeah,
I
if it
would
was
have
the
to go
other
to
one,
him.
I would say the catch, the year's catch. Like I
That
think
would
that
have
would have,
changed. They
yeah.
changed. Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Ashwin also shout out to him, like those 2 wickets. But yeah, I
Sure.
think Stoinis
Sure.
and Rabada
I
as well.
think.
But yeah, but
Yeah.
Stoinis' innings, you're
I think that's the only thing that gave them enough to play with in the second innings, right? All of these happened only if they would have been bundled out for 120. I don't think we would have had that kind of situation. So I think that added 53 of 21 is just quite incredible. So
yeah, definitely.
I have to give it to
He gave
Stoinis for
them a
that.
fighting total. And your player of the match?
I have to give it to Mayank. Poor guy. He was so good. Even though he was on a losing cause, I just have to give it to Mayank. He should have finished it, but he single-handedly really got them that close, right? So you
Yeah.
have to just give it to him for that.
I'll give it to Stoinis, not just because they won, because I mean that's the obvious reason, but because he bowled those last 3 balls and gave
Yeah.
no
Zero
runs.
and then 2 wickets. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so
quite
like
incredible.
I think that was as important as his innings. So like I forgot about that. Like I think people will forget like that over he bowled.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
as crucial as his innings. So
yeah.
proper all-round performance. Both teams, I mean, both teams were impressive, but there were also some flaws over there. It'll be exciting to see how it goes on. Delhi
They
have the
have.
potential. But yeah, sorry, you were saying.
No, I was just like, both of them really have like some thinking to do, some like just some analyzing to do over the where they kind of fell short. Both teams could have lost it. Both teams could have won it. Uh, Take the positives and try to like shore up and fine tune that innings. It really sit them down, to have a kind of a little bit of a talk and really see how they can improve from here, because both of them showed talent, both of them showed potential. It's going to be a tight contest, so they have to really quickly fine tune their small issues.
Yeah, and another thing to notice is it's like 150, 160 scores yesterday and today, and this is just the beginning of the
The
tournament.
beginning.
So it's gonna get lower and lower. I feel maybe
Yeah.
not initially, but like later on. I think Sharjah will be the venue where you will see the 200s. But yeah,
Yeah. It
it's
was a
very
little
interesting.
bit surprising. Yesterday's game, it seemed like the power play was a better time to score, and in
Yeah,
today's game, it seemed like the power play was a harder time to score.
yeah, two
So
different
it's just
stadiums, two
very,
different
yeah,
pitches.
exactly. So it's just like everyone's going to quickly have to adapt to
Yeah,
kind of the pitches and everything. And the team who kind of excels in that front is the only team that's going to be able to get into the playoffs. The four teams that will be able to do that better, because now they know that this pitch is sticky a little bit. It gets a little bit harder. So just uh, play it out slowly and then go in the end. That's kind of how it has been for them. So and someone needs to settle down. I think the most important time is the anchor role. I'm just telling you, yesterday Faf showed it, today to an extent Mayank showed it, and that stability that Iyer and Punt gave in the middle, kind of, again, that anchor role is going to be very, very crucial in this year's IPL, I think.
definitely, I agree with that. And moving on to tomorrow's game. अब हैदराबाद के बातें करेंगे उस्ताद. There's the South India derby. Your initial thoughts on the game and your predictions for the game. It's a
This
win-win
gives a bit
situation
of.
for you.
I don't know about that. I'm gonna get a lot of beating if Bangalore wins, but but I like I said in my previews, man. I think that Sunrisers have what it takes to make the playoffs, and I think that Bangalore will struggle. So I'm just maybe a little bit of the bias talking over here, but I'm gonna go for a Sunrisers victory tomorrow.
Sunrise's victory and players to watch out for
Um. So I
from
think
both teams.
pretty much it's gotta have to be the captains, right? Warner from this side because he's been their talisman, and then Kohli on the other side. But what I'm actually looking forward to seeing is how Bhuvi performs. I think that's going to be my player in the Sunrisers team, is kind of to Bhuvi, and then in the Bangalore team, I want to see how Chris Morris performs. Those are kind of my two go-to guys. If these two can, if whichever does better, I think that team will come out on top. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. But I mean, Warner and Kohli, everyone expects it from them. But I think if Bhuvi can come out there and show what maybe Shami did today, right? And that's going to be the game changer, I think. Or if
Yeah,
Chris Morris can really, that always has been such a big issue for Bangalore. If they can kind of come out of that and maybe Morris brings out one of his performances of the old, and then Bangalore can probably nick it.
yeah, and both middle orders will be interesting. Keep an eye out on that because both teams have explosive top orders. It'll be the
Yeah.
middle order that you want to see, the likes of Dubey, the likes of Manish
Shankar,
Pandey, Vijay Shankar.
Shankar. Yep.
So it'll be very interesting to keep an eye on that as well.
Who
I think
who who your players to watch out for?
for me, Rashid Khan,
Yeah, sure.
Rashid Khan, and then over there, I think it has to be De
Your
Villiers.
boy, your boy Moin Ali.
Moin Ali, yeah, if he play for sure, Moin Ali. If he plays, I think he's gonna be like
Crucial.
really, yeah, crucial for Bangalore. Moin Ali as well. De Villiers, I think he can also. He's that X factor, right? AB,
Yeah, yeah.
like in the middle order. Like we have Warner, they have Kohli that kind of evens it out, but like De Villiers is that kind of X
That extra.
factor.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that'll be a key battle as well. But yeah, probably Moin Ali, De Villiers, Rashid Khan, and I think Abdul Samad if he plays.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if he can finish off the game, or if he just shows like signs of like some good sparks and like he can hit the ball
20,
around,
20 of 6 last
yeah,
over.
something like that, it'll be crazy. But if Hyderabad wins tomorrow, I want to plate a biryani right next to you while we're talking.
Absolutely, we're done.
But yeah, I think we've covered everything. If there's anything else you want to talk about, go ahead. But otherwise,
No, I think very, very excited for tomorrow's game, of course.
yeah, IPL is back, baby, man. It's gonna
Yep.
be game after
And
game now.
this
It's
one's
gonna be a
really
lot of
opened
fun.
our eyes up, right?
Yeah,
So after a little bit of I don't want to say subdued first game though, but it was like a more calmer first game. But this one really brought the drama out, brought the excitement back, really completely to the highest level now. So
yeah.
it's just better things to come for IPL.
And just for
Glad
our fantasy viewers, who's your captain tomorrow? Or you're not gonna reveal your secrets?
I'm gonna go with Warner.
Warner. Yeah, with Orange jersey, he's something else.
Yeah, he's
But yeah,
absolutely something else.
but yeah, thank you so much for joining me today. It was a pleasure. Hopefully tomorrow will be another exciting game. I'll catch you for that.
Yep.
And it was the Battle of the North. Tomorrow's the Battle of the South. Can't wait. Take care and have a good night.
You as well. Take care.
Thank you.